gotta start with, before we even talk about what was the content of the program, let's talk about the opening of the program. Because let's talk about some double standards, shall we, here, ladies and gentlemen. I saw some rumblings on the Twitter that and some of the news sites retweeting that Tony Khan or AEW, however they phrased it, the entity All Elite Wrestling had got the rights to November Rain by Guns N' Roses, and we're doing the video, and of course everybody fondly remembers, this is a story they're telling, the November Rain video at ECW from, and Brian, again, you're the savant on 90s dates. Was that 1994?
When Paul Heyman used the video?
Yes.
He used it a few years in a row. He may have started in 94. He was definitely using it in 95. Obviously,
right.
The song came out, it was on Use Your Illusion. What was it, 91, 92?
91, 92. But Paul used it several years because of his November big event that he would have, November to Remember, whatever the case.
Paul Heyman, at times without paying any royalties or publishing fees or anything else seemingly.
Yes, nothing.
But Paul Heyman, for that era, used that era's music perfectly for his wrestling.
Yes.
And obviously that was a big influence on Tony Khan.
Well, and that's the thing, because that's why people fondly remember that, because of the ECW show. That's the thing. Paul was, editing on VHS sometimes and whatever the fuck, but he could put shit together in post. That was what he was the ultimate master at. And make those moments and those feelings in November Rain, and he had highlights of all of his top programs and blah, blah, blah. And so they've got the rights, but did this strike you as the epic, the drama of the November Rain ECW videos, even as I remember them? It's not like I've watched them over and over the past 30 years. Or was this just a lot of people taking bumps with short on explanation of why any of those people want to fight, and a little bit of November Rain? You tell me. You're more of an expert of that era's programming than I am. But first of all, did this live up to those as a tribute video? And then I'll raise my other point.
No, this was really poorly done. And, there's two different ways to do it. With ECW, very often, Paul would actually intersplice the actual video in. So it wasn't just the song. You would actually get, a few seconds of Mikey Whipwreck, and then, hey, there's Beck. That was the kind of thing that happens sometimes on ECW. So, Salt and Pepper were on ECW a bunch in 94. I bet they don't know about that. They were on a whole bunch. But I think it was all over the place. You couldn't, if you didn't already know exactly what was going on, and we don't even know that, you couldn't follow, because it was just, here's a few seconds of this feud. Now here's some of this stuff. And now here's this stuff. And as it's happening, I don't think they realize the effect is you're seeing one by one the card play out, and you're like, ooh, oh no. It's getting worse and worse what you realize is coming your way. And it didn't hit as a video. I think a big miss.
Okay, that's a good phrase that you just emitted there in your pain and agony. It didn't hit as a video. Paul shit hit as a video. This was like a compilation of shit with some of the music behind it and not in a particular prominent way. But the question is Tony Khan stuck in the past, Brian? That was 30 years ago, and it would be the equivalent of if in Smoky Mountain Wrestling in 1994, if I had done a video to I Want to Hold Your Hand.
Yeah.
Your thoughts?
I mean, I remember you going as far back as Jessica with the Allman Brothers, but it worked.
Well, it worked because it's an
Southern rock, and it was, it worked.
Yeah.
The song could work, but again, the video, it just felt slapdash. It didn't.
Well, I know I'm being facetious. That I know it's somewhat of a timeless classic, but at the same point, this is a national television show in 2024, and he's spending the money with the state of things going on right now. He's got a windfall coming with the TV rights fees, but he's spending the money to license, which Paul never did, bear in mind, license November Rain to do a tribute video to a niche promotion that had small television distribution 30 years ago because it's remembered fondly by fans of that era. And then presenting this goddamn television program full of manure in front of a crowd. And yes, it was Reading, Pennsylvania. And I don't know if Reading's ready for anything. But these people were anesthetized. They were chloroformed. They were handing out propofol fucking lollipops when these people came in the door. So that's what I'm saying. Tony Khan's on the cutting edge of modern wrestling by spending a lot of money to do a bad tribute to a 30-year-old fucking concept remembered by a small niche group of people while putting nobody in a fucking building in Reading and presenting a shit television show.
The other thing is, too, I saw what the crowd was, and according to WrestleTix, tickets distributed were 2,858. You would have thought it was a lot less because, again, a silent crowd is one thing, but when it's a large mass of people that are silent all at once, I mean, that's awkward. It's awkward to go to the bathroom. It's awkward just to get up from your seat to go to the bathroom at that point.
Well, yeah, you can definitely see people are, wandering around. But again, and again, tickets distributed. How many of them bothered to come and turn them in? We don't know. But it's just, and it's because this show, you mentioned, it's falling apart. It's not falling apart. It's falling into pieces. Because you can tell.
Don't say that. He'll license Patsy Cline next week.
I fall to pieces.
Holy shit.
See, you didn't know I could hit that note, did you?
Oh, you hit no note whatsoever there.
I was right up over the top of it.
It's like a cat being yanked by the tail. The fuck was that?
What I'm saying to you is that the people, there are a lot of individuals in AEW, either behind the camera or in front of the camera, that think variously that they are artistes, that they are auteurs. Some of them are movie directors, some of them are producers. Only one of them is a high financier. Some of them are actors. Some of them want to be dramatic. Some of them comedic. I think some of them want to be on reality television. And everybody is getting in between Tony's booking of multiple people in matches that fucking nobody can keep track of. You have a variety of people creating whatever the fuck kind of show business it is that they think they're going to get into next.